Okay, so this is problem 713, and you may want to have that problem in front of you as we're going through this. I'm just going to show you really how my sort of, how my little template works here for doing bank reconciliations. Okay, so here this is, we start off, we get the balance per bank. We're going to try to look for an adjusted balance per bank. And a lot of this is really just filling in the information from the problem. So the balance per bank that they give right in the problem is $41.50. Okay, so we just fill that in. Okay, so now, do they give us deposits in transit and all of that information? They do on number 3, they say June receipts not deposited until July 2nd. So that would be $33.90, okay? Checks outstanding, they also give us that amount, 2136.05. So would be 2136.05, okay? And then when we add and subtract those up, okay, just go like this, and we get a bank balance of, an adjusted balance per bank of the 5,403.95. So far we're really just kind of filling in the blanks. Let's go to the books and see what happens. Okay, so the balance per books, we can see right at the top of the problem that is 3969.85, right? And then these things wouldn't be written in, but I didn't want to take up a lot of time on the video, so I left those there. But we go back to the additional information, and we see that there was a note receivable collected for $1,200. So, okay, we do that. There was interest on that for $36. And I keep those separate because when we go to do the adjusting journal entry, we will do them separately. Okay, so then what else do they tell us? They tell us there was a bank collection fee on the note, and I put that down here because that's going to be a deduction, minus $550. And then what else? A non-sufficient funds check. Okay, so that's for $253.20, so minus $253.20 goes there. And anything else? Oh, let's see. Oh, a service charge. If I had a bank that charged me $25 for a service charge, I'd find another bank. Okay, so now we've got all of the information down that they have given us in the problem, and when we add that up and subtract it up, okay, so we're taking the balance per books, we're adding the deposits, wait a minute, we're adding all of these things. All right. And you'll notice that the adjusted balance per books does not equal the adjusted balance per bank. So now is where we would go back and look for the errors. This is how it would happen in a normal office situation. You just do the bank reconciliation, you hope there's no errors, and then when you find that it doesn't balance, then you say, oh, gotta go look for the errors. Okay, so we'll go look for the errors. Okay, so check number 742, the actual check was for $491. I'm just going to go right over here to do this. The amount recorded on the books was $419, so we need a $72 adjustment. Then you have to figure out, are we going to have to increase the cash or decrease the cash? Which way is the adjustment, up or down? So when I'm doing this, it just makes it easier for my brain to say, well, the actual amount of cash that went out was about $500, $491, $500. But we told the books that $419, that's closer to $400, that $400 went out. So the books think they have more money than they do, so we have to adjust our books down because the actual cash that went out was $491, but what we recorded was that only $419 went out. So we've got to make that 72 adjustment down. So how do we do that on the bank reconciliation? We simply say error check number, whatever it is, 742, okay? And we make that adjustment down of $72. Oh, it still doesn't balance. So then we go look for the other error, and there's also an error on check number 747. So the actual amount of the check was 5820. The amount recorded on the books was 582. So we told the books that 582 went out, but only 58 went out. So this adjustment is going to be an up one, okay? So we would just do error check number 747, and here we would be adding back the difference, the 523.80, okay? Still don't balance. Okay, and then they say there was a deposit error. Okay, so a deposit error, the customer sent us a check for 90, we only recorded it on the books for 60. So 90 went into the bank, but only 60 was recorded on the book. So when we add this deposit error of 30, oh, look at this. Now we've got the adjusted balance, 5 is 543095, and here we are here. So we have reconciled our books, but we are not done yet. For each of these items here, okay, for each of these items here, let me get a color that works here, we have to make a journal entry. Now the way I do the journal entries, I do all the increases in cash together, so I go cash, I go, here's the note receivable was collected, the interest revenue, the sales revenue, that would be that deposit error, and then accounts receivable on the check error. And so, yeah, so on that, yeah, that was, okay. And so that totals to an adjustment up of cash of $1789.80. All of these are decreases to cash, and so here we would do the accounts receivable, that's putting the non-sufficient funds check back in there. Miscellaneous expense, that would be the bank charges, the collection fee and the service charge. And then the error on the other check would be a debit of 72. And so the cash adjustments down would be that. And then just for your own peace of mind, your unadjusted balance per bank was, for books, I'm sorry, books was this. We added 17, oh, I need more decimal points there, wait a minute. We added the 17, oh, there we go, 1789.80, and we deducted this 355.70, and there's our adjusted balance here. Okay. So you do not have to do the journal entries in those formats. Wiley likes to keep all of the note receivable transactions together and do 4 or 5 journal entries. I just find this makes more sense. So whichever way works for you. Okay, so that is the bank reconciliation